What is up? This year, LA in a minute, and this Saturday is going to be the 94th edition of the crosstown rivalry football game, UCLA Bruins versus USC Trojans. But this is about more than just a game. This is about the greatest uniform matchup in sports. UCLA's powder blue and gold versus the Trojans' cardinal and gold. In fact, this is the only head-to-head matchup where both teams wear home uniforms every year. So how did this come to be, and why are USC and UCLA so special? Well, this is LA, baby. Let's get into it. For most of the last 8 decades, USC and UCLA have had a unique matchup where they both get to wear their home uniforms with full color blocks. The arrangement was wildly popular for alumni and fans, and it served as a defining stylistic feature of the crosstown rivalry to observers throughout the nation. And the uniform's contrasting colors glistened in the late autumn sunshine, and it really popped on color TV sets, which were just becoming ubiquitous as the rivalry developed. The fact is, there were so many legends on both sides, and in a city like Los Angeles, crosstown supremacy carried a different type of gravitas. Most importantly, the otherwise authoritarian NCAA actually allowed something their strict bylaws would otherwise prevent: both teams wearing home uniforms, because both teams shared a home field, the LA Memorial Coliseum, from 1928 to 1981. So this was, after all, a home game for both teams, pitted against each other in their home jerseys starting in 1949 to correspond with the advent of television. The games were glorious and the matchups were fierce. But when the Bruins moved to the Rose Bowl in 1982, the NCAA laws required visiting teams to wear their white jerseys. So that's what UCLA and USC did for the next couple decades. But in 2008, both teams agreed to break that rule and go back to tradition as Trojans coach Pete Carroll and Bruins coach Rick Neuheisel hatched a pregame agreement where at kickoff the Trojans would be penalized a timeout, but the Bruins would respond by voluntarily calling a timeout to even the score in a show of sportsmanship and great uniforms. 2 months later, the NCAA passed a rule allowing teams to wear uniforms of contrasting colors, prompted by that 2008 USC versus UCLA game. And that's how it's remained ever since, with the exception of the 2011 meeting where the Bruins wore all-white alternate uniforms. So the game is this Saturday at 7:30 p.m. at the beautiful Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Not only is it going to be a great game, it's going to be the best uniform matchup in all of sports. All right, LA, it's been a minute.